Hello everybody, Steven here. So today I'm just gonna do a little tutorial about how to draw up a floor plan in Archicad. So we'll just be 2D for now. And as you can see, I already went onto Google Map just so you can see what the house looks like. It was done by Miss Vendero, and it's oops, I went a bit into Street View, but that's a 3-story house. And for this tutorial, we're just gonna do the middle floor plan, the one right there underneath. So I think usually before you start to model a house, it's good to go on Google. Here I'm going on Pinterest just to get an idea of the overall house looks like, because not everybody's gonna have the chance to go visit the house. So here gives some idea about the interiors and how it relates to the context, which is really important. And then if you want, you can go on Arcdaily, have a read about the history behind it. And that's the official website. And something that I thought was interesting is on the official website there's like a link showing you how to visit the house virtually. And so that's the floor plan that we're going to build. And if you click on each the little button, it will take you to panoramic photos that you can move around. It's not really easy. Well, it's easy to use, but I think it's because my computer is a bit slow. But at least it will give you some idea of how it looks like on the interior and how it feels like to be in the house. But what we're gonna do today is just take a floor plan. Where is it? Like this one here, and how you can take that into Archicad and start to drawing up. The purpose is just to show you how to use wall tools, slabs, and how to place furniture, just to get you started into using Archicad for your CAD modeling. So there's multiple ways. I've already opened up Archicad, just a new session, because I think in the future I want to make the whole house. So first I'm just gonna create a new story, because the house is 3 stories, so I'm just gonna insert a story. It's gonna be first floor, there's one ground floor, and because the house actually from the street, oops, let's go back to here. Like the top floor is actually the one that's linked to the streets. And if you, I think I had a drawing, but I'm just saying that it's hard to clearly specify which one is the ground floor. But for this, we're just gonna have the ground floor set up as the CD item. Maybe this is gonna be the basement, so that's gonna be the lowest. And oops, go back to story setting. This is gonna be set as the ground floor. And we're gonna insert another one that's gonna be first floor. And then you have the roof. So this one is gonna be where there's all the technical, all the services. The ground floor, that's what we're gonna model. So press OK. Just go back to ground floor. So one way of importing the floor plan would be to go in here, press copy, go back to Archicad, and just Control V to paste. So that's one way, and then you get the image here. Or you could just do, if you save the image into your computer already, you can just go File, External Content, Place External Drawing, and here I've saved it here. Just double click and place. And as you can see, usually they would come in different size, because the next step is to rescale it. Or if you have it open like here, you can just drag and drop. Close that up. Okay, the next step would be to rescale the image. As you can see, if you find a drawing, try to find it with a scale bar. So you select the image, you press Ctrl K, it will resize. Let's press OK, and then you click from starting here. If you maintain Shift, it will keep the line straight to here, and then here you can resize. So here the distance is highlighted, and you can just type it 10,000 because mine is set in millimeters right now, and then press OK. So now it resized the house. Next steps, well, I don't really need the document elevations, so I can just hide them. If you don't have this is like the little palettes that give shortcuts. It's under Windows toolbar, I think palette here. I think it's quick layers. So we'll pop that up. So this one is under the dock elevation layers. If I click on this, it will hide those layers. Okay, let's start the modeling now. So as you can see, we get the walls, they have different thickness. This is like the living space. We get the, where's the kitchen? Oh, kitchen's here. Get some furniture, pantry, storage, bathroom. Well, yeah, it looks like a bathtub. Oh, I don't know, because I mean there's a bathtub here. Some storage room, looks like there's a bedroom here, access to the outside, terraces here, staircase, another terrace. So yep, and a staircase to go to the up and basement. So first what we're gonna do is to maybe draw the outline or the perimeter of the house using the slabs tool. So this is this here, and usually Archicad has some basic structure that allows you to have a detailed slab, but at this stage I don't think it's necessary. So you can just select the standard one and use concrete. You can set up the size. I think 100 is fine for now, and we just need to click on each corner. So I'm gonna start on here, and I'm just gonna try to round things up. So 30 and 45, and as you can see, because I've selected that's the geometry methods. So there's either the rotating rectangular, where you draw one edge first and then you can just pull it here. So for this I'm just gonna use that, and 36,500. Okay, so I got this slab here. Usually I tend to do that to make sure that everything is squared. But if you were to, let's say, use the slab tool and the polygonal, so this one allows you to just press on each corner, and you can see some guidelines popping up just to help you make it straight. And I'm just gonna go all around. Don't know what's this, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. This is not straight, but I'll just make it straight for the sake of the tutorial. And yeah, I mean, this could take a while just to go all around, but you just have to make sure that everything is straight, so that when you make your walls, everything's gonna line up. Oops. Okay, so maybe I can just click on it, 580. Oh, well, I mean, you understand what I'm doing right now. I'm just going all over. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and make it a bit faster. And I'm gonna skip some of the corners. This could be added later if you wanted to. I'm just gonna show you that after. Okay, so now I got this. So as you can see, oh, you can say, oh, this is not lining up. So what I can just do is to just click on the edge, and here you have different options. So this one is to offset the edge. So from here you can just move on either side, and I'm just gonna move this one, like say 250. And oops, as you can see here, it's actually not straight. See, there's an angle, so I can just take that point and just move it up and down, and if you maintain shift, it will stick it to that edge here, to that line, and I just can just move it here and just try to line it up with that point there, and now it's back to straight. I'm just gonna delete the old slab, or maybe what you can do with the old slab is just to, if you press Ctrl D, you can move it around, and I'm just gonna move it in that corner, and I'll model the slabs for the indoor garden. So just like before, I'm just gonna click on the edge here and try to offset. So here, offset edges, lining up here, and as you can see, when it's lining up, there's like a black, the pencil turns black. I'm just gonna do the same with here, and line up here. And one little trick, normally I want to use slab again, let's say to do the bottom terrace. You could either click here, slab, and do what I just did again, but what I like to do is just press Alt and select the slab. It will automatically select the tool, and I can stop making it again. And also one thing, you could just, if you're like, oh, I don't want to click on all those corners, I can just press here and it will change the method again. I think, and so, cool. And here, let's say you forgot to add something here. What you could do is now click on the edge, and there's this little palette lid, add polygon. Add polygon is this, will just allows you to add new part for the slab, and you can either choose the rotated rectangle or the polygonal. I usually use the rotated rectangle. So I start the slab along the edge of the existing slab that I made, and I just pull up. Okay, and this one maybe I'll just pull it down 250. And if you want to check how it looks like in 3D in Archicad, you just press F5, and that's what we have so far. So we got the main slab of the house, we got the terraces here. I like to change the color. If you select the slabs and you press Ctrl T, we'll open the setting menu, and here you can overwrite the surfaces, and for this I'm just going to choose white so I can clearly differentiate the different slabs. Another shortcut to go back to your floor plan is F2, or you could just double click on here to go back to this window. And maybe I'm gonna quickly do this one as well. So the same thing, I'm just use the syringe tool to go back to the slab tool, and I'm just gonna pull that up. And here I'm gonna select the corner, this little point, and I can just move it around to follow the shape of the terrace. Okay, that's what we got so far. Like if I press here, I'm gonna back here, and now we're gonna do the walls. So for the walls, this is the wall tool here, and same as the slab, allows you to have different type of wall. One that has different skins, but we can just choose the normal one, standard generic, and here that's the size. As you can see, the wall are pretty big here. If I press M, it will pop up the ruler tools. You can click on one edge to the other, tell you roughly what's the size of the wall. As you can see, there's like this type of wall here. There's like 450, and if you press M again, you can measure this wall like 200. And so what we're gonna do is we'll set the overall exterior walls as 200, and the one on the interior is the one on the outside is gonna be 500, the one on the inside is gonna be 200, and we might tweak some of the bigger ones like those one here. So let's do that. Take on the wall tool, set it to 500, and you could either, okay, so I press the corner here, you can see the wall is on the wrong side, and you just have to flip it here, and now it's on the inside. You can see here outside face, it's darker here, which is on the left sides of that wall. You can see it's darker, so that means the outside. Usually it helps when you set up the different color of surfaces, like you can have a different color from the outside to the inside. Okay, so I get one corner here, you can click that corner, and you can go all the way around the house doing this. If I double click, it will end it and will create the wall. If you go into 3D view, that's what you get. But because I want to be faster, one way of doing it is to use the magic wand. I think the magic one is here, outline polygon with magic wand. Usually never go into that tab. There's a shortcut, it's spacebar. Well, you have to use the wall tool. Click on this first, spacebar, and then you can see that the icon of the magic wand appears. What it helps, it will use, if you go over a slab, it will use that slab as a reference to create the walls. So get the wall selected, you input the thickness, you go over the slabs where you want your walls to be, and you press spacebar, and then you click the slab, and boom, you get your wall. And as you can see, if you click the slabs, the walls on the outside, what you can do is just click the wall, because you made it as a one wall is all grouped, so everything's going to be selected, and what you do is to just reverse the wall. So now everything is on the inside, and that's what you wanted. Go back in 3D view by pressing F5. That's what we got. Okay, so now we're just gonna draw up the interior. So you take the wall tool again, and we're gonna change the size to 250. So what I like to do is to just close off things that are here. I'm not going to be super precise. It's up to you, but I'm just showing you how I'm doing the layout, so I can go into how to place the furniture after. But I'm just gonna do this. Because if you can see here, I select that wall. If I press Ctrl D, that's my way of measuring stuff. You can see, oh well, 2255. It's okay. I mean, we will never know exactly what's the size, the distance, because I don't have the real plans. So if I press M, I can measure. But for the sake of the tutorial, let's just make it faster. So from here, and maybe lining up with this. So I'll just take it and just drag it, and when it's like this, I can just Ctrl D, allows me to move the wall. But if I press Ctrl again, it allows me to make a copy or duplicate. And from here I can just type it 200 and get another wall. So this way it makes sure that everything's parallel. And you can see that this wall here is kind of in line with this one. So what you could do, instead of just copying a wall like this, make a copy in here, or tracing another wall. The thing is that they might not be lined up, or you'll have to measure it again. So what you can do, you can just take the wall and just drag it here. So now you know it's aligned straight. And if you press Ctrl and go over a wall, there's like a scissor tool that pops up, and if you click that, it allows you to just cut it, and now you get the other wall on the other side. And say I'm gonna take that wall and bring it here. And another technique, if you got this wall here, this wall, and you want to bring it here, there's where is it? Edit. I think it's where is it? Reshape, intersect. Ding. So yeah, I had it on a shortcut, but that's one way of doing things. And just gonna move that wall here, so I make a copy. Well, Control D, press Control, make a copy, and type in the distance. Go over the wall, select the wall, go over it, press Control to get the scissors, click, and let's do the other walls. So that's another technique. Let's say you click the wall, you press Ctrl D because you want to move it, I'll make a copy. If you press Ctrl, you're gonna have one copy. If you press Ctrl Alt, you get plus plus plus, and you can allow us to make you multiple copies of that same wall. So what I'm going to do is going to place one wall here, one wall here, it's going to be one here, one wall here, one here, and that's it for now. Then okay, I want to have that wall that's lined up to here, but as you can see, this, you can just select the wall corner and just snap it to this other corner, so everything lines up, and that's okay. Now you could either, as you can see, I never go and click the wall tool here. I just suck the properties of the wall by using the syringe, by pressing Alt on the wall. I think there's another, wait, no, and just okay, and maybe I'm just gonna resize the wall. As you can see, you can place the wall here, select one of the corner, and it shows the distance, and here you can resize it again, and 13, 500. And if I want to move it, 400. And select the wall tool, press Ctrl to get the scissors. And you can see you can use the scissor on even on walls that you haven't selected. And actually this wall needs to go all the way down, and this needs to be cut. And actually this wall doesn't go all the way to the top, so I can just select the point and just drag it down. If you press shift, it will stick it to that axis. I'm just gonna line it up with this corner. Okay, and now we get this wall here. Now one other thing, as you can see, this wall, when you go over here, it will show the middle of that element of that wall, because it's set up here. That's in half. You could either change the division, so you want that wall to be divided into 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you'll get some reference point. This can be changed by set snap point. So if I wanted to divide into 3, I can just type 3 here, and now this is going to be changed to 3. And if you go here, there's 3, but we want to have half. So now let's say I want to have a wall that's aligned with this, and using that center line, I could just take the wall tool, hover that wall, and then it will show me the center line, and just drag it. 30, 350, and because it's set as a consecutive, there's like different ways of making a wall. This one allows you to create walls in succession, but if you just wanted one, you can just click here, but usually I'll just stay on this one, and I'll just double click to finish that wall. And you can change the line, so now it's set on the outside, but I can just center it so it moves. It's nice in the right position, and I just have to cut those walls. So I'm just gonna press Ctrl, scissors, and click. And okay, now I think there's this wall here, and here that's under the staircase. No. Let's go to the 3D view, see what it looks like. So now you start to see the different rooms that are in this house. Go back to the floor plan, and now we're gonna do, there's one wall here on the interior, the like the stone wall, and there's like the wooden wall. If we go into the here and go from this view, so that's this rounded wall, and if you go here, and that's the other wall, the stone wall. So we're gonna do those ones. So to make a round wall, you just take the same tool. This one looks a bit thinner, so we're just gonna change it to, let's say, 150. And first you start by getting the right width. So it's about 6950. Oh, press backspace, and so you can redo it again, because if it's a bit too small, so I'm 7000. Too small. 7200. Too much. 7100. That's correct. Double click to close it, to finish it. And now if you take the center here, or maybe just the edge, just like the slab tool, you get some options to edit that wall. And we're gonna use the curve edges. Click on that, and it allows you to create a curved wall. And 350 is about alright. you can either type it again just to make sure that it doesn't move, or just press enter. So now you get a curved wall. Go to 3D view, and that's it. Well, it's really easy. If you got the wrong angle, wrong radius, you can select that wall again, go into the pet palette, like click on the edge, and you can just tweak it. And if you want to go back, Control Z. And let's finish up that wall here. So I'm just gonna use the syringe tool again and create a wall. 6450. And because I don't know exactly what's the distance, so usually I'll take it, Control D, so I can move it around, go against that wall. As you can see, 6416. So let's say I want a 6400, so I'm just going to move it 16 millimeters, a tiny bit, but now you can see it moved and it's at the correct position. I think that's not a wall, it's just like a staircase that's round. But here we got 2 more walls, so I'm just gonna create those. Yeah, you have to be careful. You can see here it wasn't straight, so I'm just gonna delete that, Control Z. Make sure that you follow the guideline. You can go over it sometimes. If you go to the edge here, as you can see, there's the guideline and there's the middle point, and because they don't line up, you might click in the wrong place. So you can just go further, make sure that you follow the guideline, just double click and Control to get the scissors and cut the part that you don't need. Here, press Control D, move it to that side, and let's say 500. And same, you can take this one and you can stretch it, press Shift, make sure that it stick to the axis, Control, go over the wall and delete this, the one that you don't need. Okay, so now I think I'm just going to show you how to put some furniture, and that's the fun part. So you go here, Object Tool, go here. You can see that there's a big library. Go to Object, Furnishing, and usually because there's so many things here and they don't, so like chairs, beds, kitchens, you can play around. But one way of doing quickly is just type a chair here and you get different type of chairs. Depending on your computer, you might see all the images appear straight away, but mine's a bit slow. But yep, so you get the choices. And if your computer is connected to internet, the software might looks for object that has been done by other people and upload it onto Beam Portal. I think if you click on here, oops, no, maybe not. But yeah, Beam Cloud. So anyway, let's place some chairs. So here you get those little chairs. Let's go back to chairs. I think there's some Miss Vendor chairs. Oh, designer chairs. And so you press OK, and here you make sure that it's in the furniture layer. I mean, you can put in any layer that you want in the future. Press OK, and now you can just place it anywhere. And if you didn't press escape, you can just place it as many as you want. Now let's go into the 3D view and you can see how it looks like. And if you stay on the ground layer, it will automatically fix it to the ground floor. You can see here. Let's go back to this view. I'm just gonna delete the one that I don't need. And sometimes be careful when you click. Sometimes you might click the slabs and delete that. Ways to not delete is to go into the layer menu. Do it by pressing Ctrl L on a Mac. And I think slabs mostly are in the slabs layer, which is not slabs, actually floor, and you can click that to lock it. So now even if I click this, I can move it around, I can delete, and that's good. So I'm gonna use that one here, place it roughly into position. Let's see, I think if you go into 3D view, oops, as you can see here, when I go to 3D view, it didn't show the walls or any of the furniture. It's because I've selected the slab. When you select an element and you go F5 to go to 3D, it will actually only show that element. In the future, it could be really useful to kind of declutter the 3D scene, so you can, let's say I want to work only on that zone, but I want to reference those walls and let's say that object. And if I press F5, now I only see these things. It's really good when your model is being really complex and you want to select things a bit easier. Yeah. So here I just wanted to know the directions of the object. As you can see, this one here in particular, this is the front. So if you go here, where there's that little point, it means it's facing this way. So you take the object and now I have to rotate it so it's facing the table. So click in the middle and here there's the pep palette and click on rotate, click the center, click one direction, and now you can move it around. So the front now is going to face this way to the right, and I'm going to type it 90 degrees to make sure that it's square. So now if you go back to F5, and because nothing was selected, it's going to show everything. The furniture is facing the right direction. So now you want to have two moles. So you could either just take those, Control D to move them around and rotate, but you don't want to do that. It's going to be a waste of time. So what you can do is to Control D this one, make a copy, or you can just do Control D, Control and Alt. So now you get plus, you can make multiple copies, but then the problem is that you don't know what's the distance. Usually you try to make them equal, so like it's 210 and this one is 184. So yeah, I mean, you wouldn't really care so much. I mean, it looks okay, but I'll just show you a way to make it equal. So you first gonna delete those ones, and you take this, and here you get the multiply tool. This allows you to create multiple copies of an object, and you have different ways doing it. And this one, distribute, allows to, as you can see, create. You can type two object. So we create two object here, and you just slide it here, and just type it 850. So now I created two objects, and 165, 165. They have the same distance between each. Or if you knew the exact size of this chair, which is which weight is it? 770. Let's check. I press M to get the ruler. 760. Yeah, it was either. And I know the distance that I want that to be. It's gonna be 180. So I can take this chair and I can spread. So it's 770 plus 180. So it's gonna be what? 800, 960. So now I can take from that point, it's gonna make a space of 960 and create another copy. And every 960, it's gonna create a copy. If you press shift, it's gonna be aligned to the axis. And here there's another way of placing furniture. And okay, so now if you want to put it on that side, you can make a copy, drag it along here, 3125, and then you can select the center, rotate it, so now it's facing this way, but it's a bit, and then you can just do the same thing, multiply, and 60, or you could just use the other one, distribute, set 2, and use that point here as a reference. Press shift so you can stick it here as a reference to have the same here. So that's one way of doing it. The easiest way is actually you delete those, you select all the elements here, click on one point, and just use the mirror tool. And actually we have to place that table because the mirror tool is like I'll show you. Just press here, set the axis of the mirror, and now it flips on the other side. But then you want to actually have a copy, so I forgot to press Control. So you go mirror tool, select the axis. As you can see, there's no plus sign. So if I press Control, there's gonna have one plus sign. Now there's another copy on the other side. But the thing is that I don't have the exact length. I mean, I just have to move it after. Okay, so now I've check 2476. So maybe I'll move that 76. Okay, so now I get some chairs. And it's the same thing for everything now. So I'm just going to place some tables. Go here, go to set table. And well, you get a lot of choices. And here you can change the, if you click on here, you can see how it looks like. You can change the height. Let's say 300. Oops, that wasn't the height, that was the depth. So 760, and I'm going to set it here, move it into place. Usually if I want to make it right in the middle, I'll just move it to one of the object, check here, so it's 2.4, and I'm gonna tap it half of it, so now I know it's in the right position in the middle. And if I press M, I can measure the image, so it's about 1000. So I'm just gonna change here. While you select the object, you can change the setting in these tabs here. But as you can see, it moved a bit around, so yep. I have to check that it's 1200. So now that's a table. And I'm gonna change the height of it. So that's this object height. It's say 450. So now you got a table. So you can do that for all of the object. If you type, let's say WC, I'll get the toilet. Press OK. It's up here, and what do you have? The bathtubs. Control D to move it around, and you can do the basin. So what I'm gonna show you now is maybe how to put doors. So you click on the door tool here, and if you double click and get the setting, here you can change the leaf design, but I'm just gonna stick with this one here. That's the size of the door. If you go back to here, that's the wall dimension. So, but that's not the actual leaf size. It's gonna be 850. So I think you can tweak that 860, and as you can see, the wall dimension is gonna change depending on the settings of the door. I mean, there's a lot of settings that you can tweak the door depending on if you want to be really realistic, but we're just gonna leave it at, let's say, 900, and press OK. Then you just have to hover the walls where there is the door, and you can see a little sun. So usually the sun is the direction where it's gonna open. So press click once. You can go left to right, up and down, to change to set where you want it to open. So I have here, and okay, usually I don't really like to see the markers to show you the dimensions, so I just go in here, no markers, and I just go around the house, just set the doors down like this. Really easy. I mean, I usually put all the doors in first. Oops, wrong way. So let's say if it's the wrong way like this, and you come back later and just realize, you click on the door and you can just flip it. So we'll either take the other side, flip it again, or you can just mirror it to go on the other side. Click on the center, get the pip palette, you mirror. And then you can just use the syringe tool again to just select the door and continue doing that. I got a door here as well. Let's say go into 3D view, and now you can see all the doors being placed. Now if you want to be really exact, you can just select the door, Ctrl D to move it, so you can move it whenever you want, but just need to make sure how far from the edge of that corner it is. Just keep it at 100, but yeah, you can be really precise, and that's how you get walls. I mean, you can click on each wall here and change the size if you wanted to. Click on the wall, go into tab here, type, let's say, 700, make it smaller. You can just go into the settings, Control T. I think Control T is the shortcut to go into the settings of most components in Archicad. And here you can change the back to 900. You can even change the height of the door. Let's say 1 meter. Go back to 3D view. As you can see, you get a 1 meter door. And for the door, well, make sure that you don't go over the height of the wall. As you can see, the height of the wall is 2.4 right now. And Another thing you could do, let's say you get those two and then you made a mistake, you actually want this door to be the same door as this one, you can just, even in the 3D view, you can press Alt, get the little syringe, or absorb the property of that door, and if you press Control Alt, you get another syringe that actually inject the properties into other objects. So injecting dust wall, and now this one is the same setting as here. Okay, what else can I show you? Oh, maybe I'll show you how to put some windows here. So windows, kind of same thing as the door. I just click on here, and here you can see this is a top hung windows. You have different options: fixed glass, side hung. For this, we're just gonna use fixed glass right now. Press OK, and I know that along this is mostly glass. Let's see. Oops. So because this wall we made it as one in one go, so everything's grouped. To ungroup a group of object, you press Alt G. So now you can, it actually suspend the group, it doesn't ungroup it. So now I can just move this one by itself. And as you can see, there's windows here, 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 and here. And I think it's the same on that side. And on that side, it just stops here where there's the door. Okay, now because I want everything back to how it was, I can just press Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, everything's back in order. And I can press Alt G again to have that regrouped. Click on the Windows button again, and I'm just gonna create a window. That's it. You just click on the wall and the window will appear. Now let's go into 3D view so you can understand the type of window that we have. So the window here, it's 900 in width and 1500 in height. Windows, the position is set by this, so headers to story 2. I think in another video I'll go in more depth about like the different stories and how you can set heights of walls and stuff, but this one is just mean that from this ground floor to the header, which is like the top of the window, it's gonna be 2200. If let's say you wanted it to be lower, you could just change here to 2000 and the window will move down. So there's either set the window from the header height, or you can change the window from the sill. So sill is actually the bottom of the window. So let's say sill to story 2. So you can see it's only 500 because it's from this ground floor to this here, it's 500. So you can set to whatever you want, but as you can see, this is going over. Or you, let's say you place one window and it's at the correct height, you can just click on one point, select the elevate, and usually it will stick it to the was it Y axis, or this axis that's going up and down, and you can just reference the bottom of the window that you wanted to. So actually this was 700. And okay, but I think this are meant to be, if you look at the where is it, to be a photo of the outside, as you can see it's full height. So we can just go back to Archicad, and you can either do it in 3D. Let's say here there's this little button, change stretch vertically, so you can stretch it to whatever height you want. You can stretch it horizontally as well. So let's stretch this one to here, so you can see a reference that wall here. It's always good to reference, so at least you're sure that everything's gonna be stretched, straight. Or you can go to the floor plan view, and here you can also click on one of the corner, but you have to be careful. I think it's around this one. Oh, that's this move node, so it allows you to stretch it. I think it had it on the other side as well, so you can stretch to whatever length that you want. But for the height, because it's hard to see in floor plan, normally you do in section, but for the height you can just do in the 3D view, going F5 and just stretch it vertically like this. So that's one way of doing it. If you delete stuff in 3D view, of course I was gonna show in the 2D view as well. So you could either like make like Control D, and I did Control A Alt as well, just so I get multiple copies like that. So if you go in 3D view, as you can see, it's the same window that's been copied. Or you could just have one big window, let's say like this one, stretch it along until the end. If you go into the setting, you can actually, if you go into window, not this one. Oh, I think you, where is it? You have to change the type of window that you want. So triple windows. So there's different type of windows, but oh, it's not this one. Basic windows. So you can see there's multiple. Because I have CAD image. That's like an add-on for Archicad. Usually, when you buy a commercial license in New Zealand, you can have those. And this is actually like a special type of window that allows for more customization. But let's go back to the basic windows. I think. Oh, multiple sash. That's what I wanted. And so I can change to that, and I can change the number of division, and usually would do it equally. Press OK. As you can see, it kind of resized to the setting that was here. So what I can do is to just restretch it to the dimension that I had, and as you can see, the different frames are resized to fit the number of windows that I wanted. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. If you go back into settings, that was the dimension that I needed to have, and here I can just increase it to, let's say, 10, and it just changed. And okay, what else can I show you? Oh, you can, if you want. I think there's some balustrade around here. It's an object as well. So you type it, balustrade. Here there's also a lot of it's either balustrade or railing. Railing, I think you got more options. And let's choose this one. It might not be the exact railing design, but I'm just gonna show you how it works. Press OK, you get the railing, set them into place. You can rotate it, you can stretch it just like the wall. Let's go in 3D view, see how it looks like. So now you get your rail, and you can press it here, you can rotate, use the center as reference, did the line, and if you make a copy, you can just press Control, get a little plus, and make sure that it's at 90 degrees, as you can see. Moves, get the guide, or you can just type -90, press enter, and resize this balustrade so it's lined up with that wall, and that's what you have. Usually when you have balustrade, you can create a better intersection, so you can change the angle of the balustrade. So you take one of the corner and you rotate it, so now you got it clean. Of course, you can go into the settings of that railing if you want to add more posts or change the spacing. That's really up to you to just explore the different options that you can have here. So you can see the added post. And what else? I think one thing that you like to do when you have a floor plan, let's say you don't need that anymore, you can just move it, or you can just hide it. So this one is on the import set aerial, so it's different from all the 3D element that we have, so we can just easily hide it. Hide selection. And let's say you just want it back, you can just undo quickly action. But this will only work for just last layer that you've hidden, because if I hit this and hit the wall and I click back, it will only show back the wall. Oh, I guess you can click twice and it will show back to the previous one. That's handy actually. So I think what you like to do is maybe add some text. So let's gonna hide this so we know that's living space. There's a text tool here, and I'm just gonna drag a box and I'll type living. Press enter. Oops. Press enter. Okay, enter actually go like underneath, so I just double click on the outside, so now you get living here. Now you can either change the sizing, bold, or change to whatever font you want. You can center it, so it will center around that box here. But I like to keep things tighter. I don't like to have those gaps, so I can just press Ctrl T to go into the settings, and this is this little button. You just unclick that and it will make it smaller. That's easier. And so now you get one. You can change the color as well, make it black. If I show back the floor plan, I can take this. You can either just try to make another box and type kitchen, but then it wouldn't have the same setting that you just set for this text. So what I do, I just take this and make copies. So Control D, move it around a little bit, press Control Alt, so you get ++, so I can make multiple copies, and I'll just paste it wherever I need to have it. and then when it's done I can just move it around and just double click on it and change the text. Pantry and staircase. I mean that's one way of putting text. There's other ways you can use, like the zone tool, or there's other ways. That's one of it. Projecting room. As you can see, if you press enter, you go down and it will automatically resize the shape. It's a bit too big. You just can just input the values. You can change the alignment. What else can I show you? Oh, let's say you want to put some tiles here, because if you turn off this layer, it's kind of there's nothing. You want to show some tiles, like on this one here. So you can either use a fillet tool and set an image. When you choose fillet, I think sometimes it's go automatically on this one, but if you go on this here, it will give you more options on the patterns that's on the fillet. So the fillet just works like a slab. You can see it has the same methods. So I like to use the rotated rectangle. So I do less click. As you can see, I've added some tiles, and maybe they're not the right size, so I can either change here 600, and let's see, there's more here. Like that. So now you need to have tiles on this side. So you could either do that again slowly, but then takes time. So one way of doing is you just select the original one that you had, go into the edge and add polygon, and we can use the magic wand tool to let Archicad just do the work for us. So press the magic wand tool, click in the center of the space, and ta-da! So Archicad will use the walls as reference to fill the space with the tiles, and you can do the same with all the other ones. So if you press the magic wand between, ta-da! And here, if you wanted to, one problem that, well, not problem, but after you start modeling, there's a lot of things that's going to be on top of each other. As you can see here, I can either select the slabs, but then I want to select the fill. So one way is to press tab. Tab allows you to cycle through all the things that's overlapped. Let's say for here, there's the wall, there's the fill, walls, fill. Oh, here you get the door, but here, let's say click the slabs, I want the fill, press tab and it cycle through. Go onto the edge. I'm just gonna add this polygon between the door. So yep, so that's one way of adding some differentiation by using fills. And I'm going to do one here by using the magic wand. So I've selected the fill, press spacebar to get the magic wand, click. Magic. Okay, I think I'll just stop here for the tutorial. Maybe let's have a quick recap. So if you want to make a slab, just click on the slab tool. Different methods, either you can use the rotating rectangle. Usually it's, if you want to make square or rectangle shapes, it's faster. Oops, the floor is locked, so I have to go back to control layers, unlock this, press OK. So you can have your slab, and then walls, wall tool here, you can set up the sizing. You can either click on each corner to make your walls, or you can use the magic wand. Select the wall tool, press spacebar, click within the space of the slab, and then you have your walls. And if they're not in the correct position, like if there's outside, right now they're correct, so you don't need to do anything. But if you wanted to, you can select the walls and change the I think it's the, what is it called, reference line, just to put them the outside or inside. And then if you want to place some object, go to object tools. Just let's say I want a bed, just take a bed here, press OK, done, you got a bed. And you can move it around by pressing Ctrl D. You can rotate it if you click on a center, or even on the sides. You can rotate it to either angle you want. If there's no right angle, you can see here 275, you can just click it here to, I think it's 270. Oops, 270. Yep. If you want to resize the bed here, 2.4, make it longer. And then I'll show you how to add doors. So you just hover to any walls, choose the direction you want it to be, you click, move it around. You can go into the settings. Here you can change the size. And if you want a windows, the same thing. Select the wall, put the windows. Usually you have the sun facing outside, but you can have it inside if you want to. And then you can stretch it by using the move node, or you can just go into the setting if you want to be more accurate. And you can go into 3D view by pressing S5, and then you can move the window up and down if you want to, using the elevate. And if you want to be more accurate, you have to change the setting here, let's say 2.1. And if you want to, you can go into the setting and change the type of windows you want. And we hit the multiple sash. You can change the number of windows or division. Yeah. The house is not finished. I think I'll try to do it in another tutorial, maybe in a time lapse, because as you can see, it's quite a complex house. But it was just to show you the basic tool that I use to model a floor plan. Well, thank you. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial.